to one of our top stories this morning, the drama and late-night surprises on Capitol Hill. Looking live here to Washington, it is a cold morning there, but things are going to heat up in about 3.5 hours. Senators will meet again to try to hash out this massive spending package to avoid another government shutdown.
Last night they were supposed to adjourn for the weekend and resume the debate on Monday, but there was a twist. Some junior Republican senators defied an agreement reached by the Senate top leaders, forcing lawmakers from both parties to get back to work today.
Joining me now for more, Lisa Booth, a Republican strategist and senior director at the BlackRock Group, and Maria Cardillo, a CNN political commentator and Democratic strategist. I want to start with you, Maria, because typically the storyline when we get to the end of the year and there's a possible government shutdown, it's the Republicans. Why Boehner can't corral the Tea Party or some of the more conservative members of the Republican Party. Now you're seeing people like Elizabeth Warren stand up and call out the president. Let's listen to what she said on the floor last night.
Washington already works really well for the billionaires and the big corporations and the lawyers and the lobbyists. But what about the families who lost their homes or their jobs or their retirement savings the last time Citi bet big on derivatives and lost? What about the families who are living paycheck to paycheck and saw their tax dollars go to bail out Citi just 6 years ago? We were sent here to fight for those families, and it is past time for Washington to start working for them.
The president says he doesn't like the spending bill, but he's going to sign it. Does he have a problem with the progressive wing of his party?
No, not at all. And in fact, every Democrat that you talk to, I think, will agree with Senator Warren. She's absolutely right. And I think the point that you started with is still the right one, Victor. You see in the Senate right now, the problem is not Democratic senators. The problem is Senator Ted Cruz and Senator Mike Lee, who are now holding up the spending bill in the Senate. And if the government shuts down, it will be on them. In the House, yes, you had some objections, and I think very real objections from Democrats who thought that this was too much of a giveaway to Republicans. But at the end of the day, John Boehner is going to have to thank Nancy Pelosi, because a lot of Democrats did vote for this bill, saving him from having the embarrassment of not having this passed. And also at the end of the day, Democrats can really focus on three huge priorities that they were able to maintain intact: the Affordable Care Act, the action on immigration, the executive action that the president announced just a couple of weeks ago, and money to fight ISIS. Those are three huge priorities for the Democrats that, frankly, Republicans have wanted to scuttle from day one.
Lisa, what do you think? I'm going to put the same question to you. It's kind of a giveaway, but do you believe the president has a problem with the progressive part of his party?
Well, I do think he has a problem, because you have Nancy Pelosi, who is whipping against the vote. Meanwhile, you have Steny Hoyer that's encouraging folks to vote for it, and the White House also encouraging folks to vote for it. But here's the important thing, Victor. We have to remember why we're here right now, why we have to spend this, where we have to pass this spending package. And it's because Democrats failed to pass their appropriations bills. Republicans in the House passed numerous appropriations bills this Congress. They debated those appropriations bills for almost 90 hours in a transparent process, and they also considered 412 amendments. Democrats passed zero. So we're governing crisis to crisis because Democrats failed to do their jobs. In next Congress, Republicans have the opportunity to set the nation's fiscal priorities through a budget and returning the process to regular order through a budget and appropriations bills.
Let me ask you about Ted Cruz, who says that he wanted to hold up the passage of the bill to get the Senate to vote on an amendment to block the president's action on immigration. Is that going to be his consistent pattern moving forward, that he is going to stop every piece of legislation, every nomination, until there's a vote on trying to overturn an executive action?
Well, look, I disagreed with the government shutdown last year, and I absolutely think that, we need to move forward and pass this bill as a Congress and look towards next Congress to set the fiscal priorities of the country. But if you're speaking specifically to immigration, Republicans are actually best served by passing this legislation, getting it passed in the Senate, because what this bill does is it takes the rest of the government spending to September, and it takes the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security spending, till February. And then when Republicans assume control next Congress, they have an opportunity to re-examine the immigration content of this legislation and to have that debate in Congress.
You know, Maria, the president introduced Elizabeth Warren to the country when he invited her into, I remember the Rose Garden ceremony, and now as she's turning and pointing out the members of the administration who are from Citigroup or have some Citigroup history, are the banks too close to this president, to this administration? It would not be unique to the Obama administration, but is there a bit of, maybe the word hypocrisy is too strong, maybe it's the right word here?
No, absolutely not. Look, Elizabeth Warren, I think, is giving voice to a lot of folks within the Democratic Party who believe that the Great Recession was the fault of the big banks, including President Obama. That's one of the reasons why he won election in 2008. It's another big reason why he won re-election in 2012 is because he rallied against the big banks over and over again because they were not working for the benefit of middle-class families. And so Elizabeth Warren's voice is a very important one in the Democratic Party. It's one that the president absolutely likes to have out there because it focuses and it underscores what this party stands for in terms of fighting for the middle class. But I want to clarify something that Lisa said. Leader Pelosi never whipped against this bill. She made her voice known and she made her objections known. And I think, again, that is a voice, very important voice in the Democratic Party. But at the day, and she said this, she's like, she never tried to sink the bill. She wanted to make sure that the Democratic priorities were taken care of. And at the end of the day, even though Democrats, including this president, object to the rollbacks in the Dodd-Frank bill, one piece that was in there is increasing protections for middle-class families on the Consumer Protection Board. And you can thank Senator Warren for making sure that that happens.
All right, Maria Cardona, Lisa Booth, we have to leave it there. Appreciate both of you this morning.
Thanks, Victor.